Hey everybody, Dan Stribling here. I'm the worship minister at First Christian Church, and today I'm excited to be able to bring you a truth for Tuesday. Today's truth we're going to be talking about is keeping our eyes on Jesus as we run the race that He has set out for us. So a while back when I was in college, I used to run cross country. Might be a little hard to guess that now, but I did used to run cross country and I really enjoyed it. There was just something very exciting, very refreshing, very enlightening about being outside and running for long periods of time and feeling the wind on my face. And especially because I went to school in Kentucky, we had the privilege of going out and running trails frequently. I went to Kentucky Christian University, and so we lived very close to Grayson Lake State Park. There's trails all over the place, and we would choose these trails and we would run them as practice for cross country. These trails were beautiful. The trees that you would see, the natural beauty of the landscape that you'd be exposed to while you were running was just breathtaking. And I loved being able to just have some time to go out and run and be in nature. It was really great. Now the time, of course, would come for the meets, and being that we were in Kentucky, we would oftentimes run through these long trails, through the hills, and as you know, if you're familiar with trails, occasionally trails diverge. You might come to a point where it would split and you'd have the choice to go one way or go another way. And one of the things that I remember about running these races for cross country was that occasionally when you would come to a split, what you would watch for was a little flag or a little marker or something telling you which was the correct path to take. If you went off the path, of course, you're out of the race, you're going the wrong way. But as long as you followed these markers, as long as you followed these special things that were set up to guide you, you would be running the race correctly and going in the direction that you needed to go. So what I'd like to do now is I want to read to you some scripture. I want us to think as we read this scripture about the race that we all run in our own lives, that race for the prize that God has called us to. We're going to go to the book of Hebrews. I'm going to read this for you here. Hebrews, the 12th chapter. We're just going to read the first two verses here, and then we'll see what we need to see. Hebrews 12, verse 1 says this: "Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a huge cloud of witnesses to the life of faith, let us strip off every weight that slows us down, especially the sin that so easily trips us up. And let us run with endurance the race God has set before us." Now here's the key. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the champion who initiates and perfects our faith. Because of the joy awaiting Him, He endured the cross, disregarding its shame. Now He is seated in the place of honor beside God's throne. Sometimes in the race of life that we all run, we come across those diverging paths, right? We see other options. Sometimes we come across temptations that might look like a really lush green field or something over there, and oh, wouldn't that just be great to go through? And sometimes even it can be confusing to know which path to take. We're human, right? It can happen. Right here in Hebrews, we have the key for knowing which path to take. Look again at verse 2. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus. Just like when I was running those races through the hills and the trails in Kentucky, when I would come to those diverging paths and I would see that little orange flag right there and I would know which way to go. Keep your eyes on Jesus. Study His truth, and He will be the one to guide you on that correct path. It's been a pleasure today. Hope you have a great week and a great Tuesday.